something. I want to get that right. I believe it was blood cuts in like his throwing arm or something.
It was an unusual injury.
It basically turned him into a shell of his former self, is basically what I'm trying to get at.
And he will never be the Dark Knight again.
No, he's the former Dark Knight, honestly. He retired. But,
he's Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond. He's ready to pass on the reins to Terry, whatever his name was.
I couldn't tell you what the name is at the moment, but I'll probably look it up while we're on break. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with shopping Matt Harvey. I did hear the Texas Rangers being thrown out a lot with Jurickson Profar.
I would not do that if I was Sandy Alderson.
Well, Sandy Alderson is not Brian Cashman. He's not that smart, but
he's definitely not Brian Cashman.
Honestly,
right.
If you're the Mets, I think at that point, if you are willing to stoop that low to deal Matt Harvey for obviously a former top prospect, but really hasn't shown you anything else, it's, again, a gamble, and it's probably going the wrong way. Because the Mets do need a second baseman, although I do like TJ Rivera. I like him a lot. But they need a more stable second baseman that's not Jurickson Profar. Again, there's nothing wrong with shopping Matt Harvey. See what you can get for him.
I heard the Mets are interested in trading for a Baltimore Orioles reliever like Brad Brack or Darren O'Day. I heard mentioned.
Darren O'Day would be interesting. I don't know if that could happen. Honestly, I think Harvey will be a Met by the start of the year.
Yeah, I could see it. Matt Harvey can bounce back, but he will never be the Dark Knight again.
Absolutely not. And, I think it wasn't a good look for Sandy Alderson to at least not entertain the idea of Stanton coming to the Mets. You know what I mean? Because if he were to say, no, I don't want to play for the Mets, it's like, okay, that's fine. But, they didn't even make an attempt to go after him.
Evan Roberts killed Sandy Alderson on that, and he was 100% right. Eric, you hit on this when it was rumored that the Giants and the Cardinals couldn't work out a trade for Stanton. Every team should have been on the phone with Derek Jeter and saying, hey, what's it going to take for me to get Giancarlo Stanton on my team?
Yeah, you should inquire. And the
Mets didn't.
It would be ridiculous and idiotic if any team did not inquire.
The Mets.
Unfortunately.
Well, not unfortunately, because now he's a Yankee.
Well, honestly, in terms of the Mets, they've been through so much. Just give them something to look forward to.
No. We do have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on Beyond the Game.
I would rather have either one of you guys on the Mets rotation than Matt Harvey.
I used to pitch when I was younger, so I could do that.
What's your name and where are you calling from, buddy?
This is John from Freeport, and at least you guys would show up. I mean, Matt Harvey, he was. We always knew he wanted to go to the Yankees. He made it clear he didn't want to be a Met. He wanted to be a Yankee.
We also wouldn't have Scott Boras as our agent, so that certainly helps.
Does he have Scott Boras for an agent?
Yeah, because don't you remember when Harvey was coming back from the injury, there was an innings limit that Boras was trying to get the Mets to impose, and
it was whole big news for it seemed like 2 months.
Yeah, it was really ridiculous to hear about. But what's on your mind?
I don't know how the agent is responsible for a pitch count, but I don't want the guy here. He first of all, he has no talent. Even if good for him. I hope he rebounds fantastically from his injuries or whatever, his heartbreak. He's not a gamer. I mean, whatever. He was ruined at the World Series after he begged his way into the friggin' playoffs and then didn't.
I mean, listen, Terry Collins listened to his pitcher. He did that with Johan Santana with his no-hitter, and Santana was never the same after that. He did it with Harvey, was never the same after that. Terry Collins was horrible with these Met pitchers.
I love Terry Collins. I don't mind him killing Santana. I'm sorry that happened.
You're just happy you got a no-hitter out of it.
Got a no-hitter out of it. That's fine.
We needed a no-hitter. I'm not. If you pull him after 146 pitches, they'll kill you. They'll kill you for pulling whoever it was, Pedro Martinez, for a no-hitter.
It was damned if you do, damned if you don't. I like Terry Collins. I think he got a really raw deal being let go this year because this year was not his fault. Everyone under the sun got injured. But you know what? It was funny. I went to Mike Francesa's event at the Tilly Center, and who was the first guy who shows up? Terry Collins.
Oof.
Really?
Yeah. He had 4 guests at the Tilly Center. It was Collins, Jay Wright, head coach of Villanova, Bill Simmons, and Dog was there. Chris Russo showed up, which I'm sure had to make Mark Chernoff very happy. All right, John.
All right, thank you. Just no Harvey, please. When you talk about Harvey, talk about getting rid of it.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, listen, I understand why John's upset. as a Met fan. This is someone who...
His ego got to him is what you should be saying, because he was under the bright lights of New York City.
It's a great point.
And obviously the Mets are second fiddle to the Yankees.
Always will be.
But in 2015 they weren't, because in 2015 the Mets obviously got Yoenis Cespedes, who brought them to the playoffs. Daniel Murphy carried them through the playoffs to the World Series. They played well.
The biggest mistake Sandy Alderson made was not re-signing Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, I do think so.
They're going to regret that for...
They
regret it right now.
Yeah.
They regret it right now.
They need a second baseman now. I mean, listen. The thing with...
What if they get Starlin Castro?
I could see it.
Who the Mets had been linked to since early Chicago Cubs days.
I could see it. You know, I feel like people are ripping on Starlin Castro too much with this trade. He's a good second baseman.
They're ripping him?
They were saying that, this is such a no-brainer trade. Of course you give up Castro for Stanton. Castro this, Castro that. There were a lot of people that were just mentioning him as an afterthought. And Castro was good with the Yankees.
Yes, he was.
They gave up nothing to get him. They gave up Adam Warren and Brendan Ryan. Brendan Ryan ended up being cut by the Cubs after that trade.
And they ended up getting Aaron...
and they ended up getting Warren back in the Chapman trade. And they ended up getting Chapman back for nothing. They got Gleyber Torres for nothing. Starlin Castro gave the Yankees 2 solid years at second base.
It needed to happen.
I'm going to miss him. I really am. Obviously, you do the trade for Giancarlo Stanton. Obviously. But I'm going to miss Starlin Castro, is the point I'm making.
But the thing that I'm going to miss most, and obviously I am going to miss Starlin Castro a lot, the middle infield of Didi Gregorius and Starlin Castro was really a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, it was. And now it'll be Gregorius and Torres, with Machado at third.
Hey, look, from your mouth to God's ears. I'm kind of curious. What would you give up for Machado? Because I would think that the Orioles would ask for a lot, because it's interdivision.
The rumor is 2 starters. So it would be Adams and Sheffield.
That's it?
That's the rumor.
Would you give up Montgomery instead?
I like Montgomery. He's a lefty.
Yeah.
I want my lefty. You're listening to Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. This show is on twice a week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 3 p.m. I am Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, Eric Fischetti and Joe Ardita. Number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572-7440. So the Modern Era Committee inducted Jack Morris and Alan Trammell into the Baseball Hall of Fame. With that in mind, do you guys think that they should have a plaque in Cooperstown?
Speaking on Morris, 254, 186 in win-loss records, 3.9 ERA, as a career. He's a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time World Series champ, 2 times as a win leader. The obvious answer is yes. I feel like it was a long time coming.
I agree with you, and Jack Morris is responsible for, in my opinion, the greatest postseason game ever pitched. In 1991...
The Twins game, right?
The Twins game, yeah.
Right.
He went up against John Smoltz in a legendary game. If you can ever find the full game, I've actually watched the full game. If you love baseball, you will love that game.
He pitched the whole game, right?
Yep, pitched a complete game that game. I will try to find the box score if I can, but what do you guys think of Alan Trammell? To me, this was a no. I did not want Alan Trammell in the Hall of Fame.
What about Mattingly? I feel like Mattingly should have got in over him.
No chance Don Mattingly should be in the Hall of Fame.
Not yet, or just ever?
Never. Okay. Never, ever, ever. I want Tommy John in.
Yeah, I can see that.
I want Marvin Miller in. Steve Garvey should be in over Mattingly. I don't want Mattingly in. He was a dominant first baseman in the 80s, but doesn't have a World Series.
Injuries plagued him.
Injuries plagued him. I would not put Don Mattingly in. Alan Trammell, I wouldn't either. I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
Trammell was honestly on the fence, but being that he was a 6-time All-Star and a World Series champion and a World Series MVP, I believe that put him over the top because he was also a 4-time Gold Glove winner and 3-time Silver Slugger, so he's got a lot of hardware to his name. But honestly, I think it's worth it, but he would have been the on-the-fence guy to me.
To me, he was a definitive no. Forget on the fence, just a definitive no. I would not want Alan Trammell in. Here's why I want Jack Morris in. Game 7 of the 1991 World Series, Jack Morris pitched a 10-inning complete game shutout against the Atlanta Braves, gave up 7 hits, walked 2 guys, struck out 8, 126 pitches. That would never be allowed now.
No, because a lot of pitchers can't even go a full game now.
No, and it's unfortunate.
You know what the modern day pitcher is that can do it?
Who?
Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw is without question the best pitcher in baseball.
I think so. I think he's I'm not going to say automatic. I think that he should be, like, especially when you go around each team, and I'm just speaking on terms of the Dodgers. If you're the Dodgers and you need to pick one Hall of Famer, one future Hall of Famer for your team, it's Clayton Kershaw.
The sky is the limit for him. He can definitely make the Hall of Fame. I do agree with you there.
You know, speaking on Jack Morris, he had 175 complete games. 28 of them were shutouts during his career. So, I mean, that speaks to, you know, pitchers not being able to do what they were doing back in the day. And he also won 20-plus games in 3 different seasons. So that I see a lot of consistency there. So
the guy was amazing.
He was a stud.
Long time coming for him to be in the Hall of Fame. Alan Trammell, though, I didn't like. If you're going to put Trammell in, you now need to put Lou Whitaker in. And I don't think either one of them should be in. So on that note, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll have an exclusive interview with Mike Rutherford coming up next. He's the author of 100 Things Louisville Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. But first, be the first caller to 516-572-7440, and you'll win a 4-pack of tickets to the Long Island Nets, who are taking on the Canton Charge on Saturday, December 23rd at 7 p.m. at NYCB Live, home of the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. For more information about the Long Island Nets, you may visit longislandnets.com or call 844-LI-NETS-1. Again, the number to call to win that 4-pack of tickets is 516-572-7440. How about that, guys? Someone's going to win some Long Island Net tickets.
Again, I've never been to a basketball game, so you're one game ahead of me. If you go.
Mike Rutherford interview coming up next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3. WHPC.
New York moms and dads, tune in. Dr. Monique Collier-Nichols, a member of the NAACP New York State Conference and pediatrician, talks about the importance of vaccinating your children.
As a pediatrician here in New York, I've seen firsthand how devastating vaccine-preventable diseases can be to our children. The CDC recommends a vaccination schedule that helps protect against 14 serious diseases before the age of 2. Yet, according to the National Immunization Survey, among African American children aged 19 to 35 months nationwide, approximately 30% have not been fully vaccinated with all the CDC recommended vaccines. As parents, getting our children vaccinated with all doses at the scheduled times is one of the most important steps we can take to help protect them from serious illnesses.
Families without vaccine insurance coverage may be eligible for vaccines at reduced or no cost through the Vaccines for Children program, or VFC. Learn more at vaccinateourchildren.com. This message is sponsored by the NAACP New York State Conference in partnership with Pfizer.
Wait, hold up. I don't think you know about It's Saucy. It's flavorful, extraordinary, and mind-blowing. Hey, tune into It's Saucy, where I give you nothing but the greatest music out from back then till now, along with hip-hop news and trending topics. It's DJ Steph. Just know that.
It's Saucy.
Listen to the Saucy Hour Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock here on the Voice of Nassau Community College on 90.3 WHPC.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me is Eric Fischetti, and we are fortunate enough to be joined by Mike Rutherford. He's the author of 100 Things Louisville Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for taking the time. So, what exactly is your book about?
It's, the title's fairly self-explanatory. Every chapter is a event that somebody from Louisville who's a fan of the Cardinals should know about, or it's a suggestion for something they should do before they die. So we got a lot of really good old stories that I think people are familiar with, but maybe didn't know exactly, all the details about. we also have, I think, some new stuff that people maybe weren't privy to before reading the book. Had a lot of really good interviews with a lot of the biggest figures in U of L sports history. So I think whether you're a young fan, old fan, new fan, old fan, you're going to find something in there that you both enjoy and that you weren't really familiar with before reading.
All right, and what can you tell us about the Keg of Nails?
So the Keg of Nails, it's the manliest trophy in all of sports. For anybody who's not familiar, it's the trophy that Louisville and Cincinnati used to play for in football every single year, back when they were playing in the same conference. Now, they haven't played one another since, I believe, 2013, before Louisville moved to the ACC. But back in the day,